Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. We are from Group 6 in the Contemporary Political Thought course in Section 1. My name is Hasniati Binti Santo and joining me are my group members Evrilia Marilyn Maraun, Sarvesh Ana Laki Chandan and Muhammad Mazlan Firdaus bin Heru. Together, we have researched feminism across Asia, from progress to pushback and beyond. Our presentation is divided into 4 parts, which is introduction about feminism, objective, verdict, and conclusion. I will begin with the introduction. The word of feminism comes from the French word that indicate the nature of woman. Feminism is movement that seeks to change the imbalance in society that prioritizes men in all aspects. This shows that gender should not be factored in the demand for human rights worldwide, such as economic and socio-political rights. There have been several waves of feminism and bring different focus and issues. The first wave of feminism took place in 1792 to 1916. This wave main focus on women's political rights and particularly the right to vote. However, it received many of critique because they ignored the social issue of other race. They only focus on middle and upper class white people. The second wave arose in 1916 to 1918 that emphasized women's freedom from discrimination in work, family, culture, society. However, it still not work because discrimination still exists even though laws and policy have been changed. In the 1918s, feminism experienced the third wave, which meant focus on emphasizing the diversity of women identity in Asia, include issues related to class, religion, ethnicity, and sexual orientation. Feminism in Asia takes into account the different local culture, religion, and political conditions. It starts with the fight to stop child marriage and gender inequality, as well as for the right to an education. Now, Asia feminism focuses on issues which as gender equality, reproductive rights, violence against women, and for employment opportunities. For instance, a campaign like Me Too in India and South Korea shows significant support through social media. Our first objective is the good side of feminism in Asia country. Second, the bad side of feminism in Asia country. And the last is the purpose of feminism movement in Asia country.
Now I will share the good sides of feminism. First of all, social brings a balanced justice for both gender between male and female. First, equal rights. For workplace, equal pay for equal work, no gender discrimination. For instance, gender discrimination, offensive or hostile behavior based on personal characteristics, which creates a toxic work environment. Second, education. Equal access to quality education for all. For instance, accessibility, providing equal access to educational resources, facilities, and opportunities for all students. Third, healthcare. Equal access to healthcare services and reproductive rights. For instance, healthcare services should be provided without prejudice based on gender. Fourth, politics. Equal representation in political decision-making. For instance, the right of all adult citizens to vote in election regardless of gender. Second, anti-violence laws. For domestic violence laws, protect individuals from physical, emotional, or psychological abuse within relationships or households. For instance, protect all gender from being assaulted. Second, sexual assault laws criminalize sexual violence and protects survivors' rights. For instance, protect all gender from getting sexual assault. Third, opportunities for education, equal access to quality education for all students. For instance, equal material of studies for all gender. For workplace, equal changes for career advancement and fair treatment in employment. For instance, equal pay for all gender and equal opportunities. Third, healthcare access to affordable healthcare for everyone. For instance, opportunities in affordable healthcare for everyone. Second, the good sides of feminism is economics, which is equality in workplace. For equal pay, ensuring men and women receive equal pay for equal work. For instance, all gender doing the same amount of work and getting equal pay. Second, career advancement. Equal opportunities for promotions and leadership roles for all employees. For instance, getting promoted and getting all the good opportunities without being judged based on gender. Third, inclusive work environment. Creating a workplace culture where everyone, regardless of background, and feels value. For instance, equality in workplace by having a great culture where everyone, regardless of gender. Lastly, the good sides of feminism is education, which is ability to educate. First, gender equality, ensuring that all students, regardless of gender, have equal access to educational resources and opportunities. For instance, getting great material of studies regardless of gender. Second, empowerment. Everyone deserves equal rights and opportunities in education regardless of gender. For instance, school encouraging participation in STEM. Lastly, reduce gender stereotypes. It challenges traditional gender roles, allowing for broader personal and career choices. For instance, not getting differentiated with the stereotypes whether male or female are smarter. That's all. Thank you.
Now, moving on to the next part. My name is Savis Chandra, and today I'll be talking about the bad sides of feminism. One of the bad sides of feminism is the excessive stereotype that falls on men. Stereotypes such as all men are potential predators, men can't be victims of abuse, and men are not nurturing are the most common stereotypes that have been placed on men by certain feminism groups. So to elaborate, all men are potential predators. This kind of stereotype typically falls on men who works in careers or jobs that are closely related to children. Jobs such as school teachers or school bus drivers, for example. Hence, this kind of stereotypes gives rise about unwanted suspicions on said men and causes them harm in their career as well. Moving on, another type of stereotype is men are not nurturing. This kind of stereotype is usually by a group of feminism groups who believe in the notion that men are more suited to be providers rather than nurturers, hence compared to mothers with their maternal instincts. Hence, this kind of stereotypes plays a huge impact on child custody cases. Finally, the most important type of stereotype that should be highlighted on is that men can't be victims of abuse. Certain feminism groups can't wrap their head around the fact that men also can be victims of sexual crimes. They can also be victims of gender-related violence. Hence, this dismissal of male victims and the experiences by these certain feminism groups have caused men to be more withdrawn in sharing their experiences and asking for justice when they become victims of said crime. Moving on. Another bad side of feminism is the gender bias that is usually more common in legal matters. For example, the anti-dowry law misuse, IPC 498-A. IPC refers to the Indian Penal Code. Thus, this law is mandated in India. And to further enhance your comprehension, dowry is an Indian custom whereby the bridal family will give monetary gifts of monetary value to the groom as a way for them to show their financial status. However, in recent times, some grooms and their family have started to ask for more extreme gifts that gives about financial strains to the bride's family. And when they don't get such gifts, the groom starts to abuse the wife. Hence, why this law is mandated in India. However, there's this recent trend in India where this law has been misused. Whereas usually in divorce cases, the wife will cause a false accusation towards the husband just for the cause of defamation, to defame and harm to cause harm for his reputation as a way to get back at their spouses. Hence, this law has been misused in India, causing more harm to men. Moving on, child custody biases in family court is also another bad side in the legal matters, gender bias in legal matters. As I mentioned before, the stereotype of men can't be nurturing, and men are so-called prone to be providers rather than nurturers, plays a huge part in this bias. Hence, family court favors more to single mothers compared to single fathers, hence causing more single fathers to walk out of their responsibility because they are forced to pay more alimony, hence causing more children to be raised in a single parent household by their mothers. And finally, one of the bad sides of feminism is the rise of radical feminism. Radical feminism is a type of feminism that is more militant in its approach to fighting and gaining equal rights for women. Hence, because radical feminism gains equality by fighting the male-dominated society, which is much more prominent in South Korea. Hence, this 4B movement that has been followed by the young South Korean women it's inspired by radical feminism. This 4B movement essentially rejects marriage, romance, and relationships with men. And young women have come and even voiced their intent to embrace homosexuality and remain celibate rather than being with a man. Hence, this movement have caused the recent trend in declining birth rate in South Korea. And a growing concern that has been affecting South Korea now is that due to this declining birth rate, by the years of 2065, half of the population in South Korea will be 65 years old. Hence, this will cause an economic decline and workforce reduction in South Korea, as most of the people are now in their senior age. That is all from the bad side of feminism. Thank you.
For the verdict part, we can highlight 4 important points, which is mostly women are restricted, access of education, of employment, trafficking and exploitation, family dynamics and social unrest. The verdict of feminism in Asia is complex and diverse, reflecting the region's rich cultural, social and political variety, while there are shared challenges related to gender inequality. Other than that, women would lose the ability to take key decisions about their own lives, such as marriage, education, work and healthcare. Other than that, the third one is higher risk of abuse without rights legal protections. Women may face increased risk of domestic violence, sexual harassment, or career limiting their ability to contribute to the economy and advance in society. The next one is family dynamics. Women's roles in families and communities are often foundational. Losing their rights could lead to disrupted family structures and diminish their ability to contribute as caregivers. In conclusion, feminism in the Asia region is very important because it is an effort to restore the rights of humans. There are also benefits in advocating for feminism. For the conclusion, we could conclude a certain important point, which is feminism in Asia brings a lot of different effects. Whenever positive or negative, it will bring a positive impact if women understand the terms very well. It will bring positive impacts such as economic, political, and so on, and also it will stabilize the rights between men and women. That's it for our group for the feminism in Asia topic for political thought. Thank you.